Breaking: school shooting underway now, authorities hide one major detail. Another school shooting just happened that has numerous people injured, many critically. This happened just days after students put themselves in danger by participating in the March for Our Lives protest against school violence and shootings. The school shooting in Parkland, Florida, prompted nationwide activism by students who used a tragedy to skip class and gallivant around their neighborhoods. One group even trashed a Walmart. We're in the middle of a chaotic time between school shootings and Texas bombings. Things are getting out of control. The school shooting that just happened took place at the Great Mills High School located in Maryland. The school was on lockdown early in the morning and was eventually contained. Members of the St. Mary's Sheriff's Office was at the scene of the crime. The empty state police were on their way, and so was agents from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, ATF. Numerous forces in law enforcement rushed to the scene to neutralize the threat and protect more students, staff, and parents from being shot. These were forces in law enforcement who promised to serve and protect, and they were doing that as fast as they could. Unline Broward police who allowed 17 people to die during the Parkland shooting. Reports suggest that there are multiple injuries and some of them are critical. There is not an exact number of injuries just yet. This all occurred before 8 a.m. EST. Information about the shooter has not been released yet either, but it is said the situation is under control thus far. Current reports have no information on the shooter. We are not sure if the shooter is taken out, arrested, or on the loose. NBC News reported additional information. A Maryland high school was on lockdown Tuesday morning after reports of a shooting, authorities said. Police were at the scene at Great Mills High School in Great Mills, about 70 miles south of Washington. Agents with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives were also responding. The St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office said in a statement that the incident was contained but parents should not go to the school. The school is still on lockdown and we're working on getting the students back with their families, Corporal Julie Yingling, a St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office spokeswoman, told MSNBC. Initial reports of the shooting came after classes at Great Mills began at 8 a.m. ET. About 1,600 students attend the school. The incident comes ahead of a national march Saturday against gun violence following a mass shooting at Parkland, Florida, high school last month. Students at Great Mills High School participated in last week's national school walkout that honored the 17 victims of the Parkland shooting. The ATF posted a tweet to warn people about the situation. Governor Larry Hogan posted an update about the school shooting as well. This is one of the positive ways to utilize social media while a hostile situation is going on. It's a good way for people to communicate to a lot of people in a very fast and efficient manner. The word about a school shooting can travel very fast on social media. It can be used to alert authorities, notify parents, family, and friends, and anyone else about it as well. While social media can be useful during situations like this, it's also fair to note that the addiction to smartphones and social media could be part of the reason that suicide among teens have seen an increase over the past decade, which partially plays into the role of fixing mental health in America. As of now, at 10 a.m. EST, there is no word on the shooter nor the victims of the Maryland high school shooting that occurred very early this morning. Investigations are underway, injuries are being taken care of, and we can be sure to see more action from some of the teen activists who emerged out of the Florida shooting. We are unsure if the school had an armed guard or who was able to subdue the shooter, or if the shooter at the Great Mills High School has even been captured or taken out yet. The news reports suggest that the situation was contained but were not very specific in what exactly that meant. This school shooting, just days after the obviously failed protest March for Our Lives, will most likely put more pressure on the National Rifle Association, NRA, and give Democrats more ammunition in the fight against guns. The real focus should be on mental health. A large portion of gun-related deaths is mostly due to suicides. If Democrats would take mental health seriously, then they could help prevent a majority of the self-inflicted deaths as well as the mass shootings and mass killings that occur. There was a mass killing in which a man used UMLs to murder 4 people, but it did not break into the mainstream news nor get talked about very much because the weapon of choice was not an AR-15. Even though the brutality of the crime was worse than shooting someone, the crime went almost unnoticed due to the lack of gun-grabbing narrative. Stay updated and notify us if you have any breaking information on this story. Update. It has been reported that a school resource officer has ended the threat and the shooter is no longer a threat. However, we still have no further information on the shooter's identity or his status. Was he shot? Is he arrested? Local news and authorities have not yet released that information. WJLA reported, the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office says it happened at Great Mills High School and that police are on the scene. ABC 7's Brad Bell says sources tell him the Great Mills HS shooter was a student and is one of the 3 injured. The 2 others injured were also students. Bell also says a school resource officer took action to end threat and authorities confirm the incident has been contained.